So not only do I get my heart ripped out yesterday in the closing seconds of a game that I was otherwise pleased with how we played, but at the end of the evening, my girlfriend's 96-year-old grandmother, who happens to be a diehard Giants fan herself, she says to me, "You dress like a hobo." What's up, guys? Boxcar Steps coming at you this week with another Crow video, fourth one in a row. Speaking of hobos, though, this isn't a Smitty video. This is Giant Steps TV. Still doing my thing here. I've picked my heart back up off the floor, rinsed it off, put it back in, and all I can say at this point is I'm glad we have a bye, because to say we need one is a gross understatement. I fluctuated from a deep depression to feeling kind of positive about yesterday, and still feeling positive about the season, and been waffling back and forth, but right now I feel positive, and I think that's going to be how I am for the rest of the season. What encouraged me about yesterday's game is that I thought we played really well, and we ended up, killing ourselves on the field with just inexcusable amount of penalties, over 100 yards. And there was just a handful of plays called. I don't know if it was on the sideline or at the line of scrimmage, but I don't know how we end up losing that game that we otherwise dominated. I mean, we held the Chargers to under 200 yards. We controlled the time of possession. Eli was back to his old self with a great game. Brandon Jacobs was averaging 6 yards a carry. And you know what? Just a handful of plays, that weird field goal at the beginning, a couple of questionable defensive calls, the biggest one being how you could have so few guys back to keep the ball at the end zone on that final pass. You know what? I mean, it was devastating. It is devastating. We certainly really could have used that win. But to be honest, it's probably one of the least important games on our schedule, being that's against an AFC team. Of course, you can make as much a point as you want about it's a 16-game season, but eventually you're gonna you hit a point where it doesn't matter how many games you have left to play if you don't win any. And I was encouraged to see us getting back to our brand of football yesterday, and I believe that we can compete against any of the teams we have left to go. It's going to be an uphill struggle, without a doubt, and I'm pretty sure that it's safe to say the division is out of our hands, out of our reach. But the wild card is very much up for grabs at 5-4, and a big reason for that is the NFC is just not as good as I thought it was going to be, and I think a lot of people thought it was going to be coming into the season. I mean, you look at the teams that everybody was expecting to really sort of take it to the next level. Certainly Chicago and Green Bay, I thought, had high expectations going forward. Carolina, San Francisco was off to a fast start. But it's actually ended up being very similar to last year. We have Philly and Dallas in the East. Of course, Dallas, I think, is really going to... I think it's going to be hard for anybody else to catch them at this point. We'll see. I mean, we've got to beat them in December. But I don't know if we're going to catch the boys at this point. But, the bottom line is all those teams I was talking about, those teams in the North, out West, really the wild card pool is very, very thin at this point, I think. And you've got sort of I think Philly, the Giants, and the Falcons really sort of competing for those last two spots. I know it's still a little bit early in the game, but really from what I've seen so far, those teams have been the most consistent. Say the Giants. I mean, it's bipolar blue as far as I'm concerned, but I really think we've got a shot if we can continue to play the level we played at yesterday of wrapping up one of those wild card spots. And, the talent is there. I really firmly believe that. The offensive line is one area that comes to mind as, surprisingly not doing what it's capable of doing. The D-line has underperformed, and I attribute a lot of that to just really poor play calling. I think if you had to identify the primary factor for this team's struggles so far this season, it's got to go with the defensive scheme. I mean, you can make a big deal about injuries, but the fact of the matter is, save for the safety spot, this is the same defense that we had last season, plus OC Umenyiora. And, guys on the defensive line are coming off off-season surgeries and what have you. But this is, it's baffling that essentially the same 11 guys, same 10 guys can have such a dramatic drop-off in performance. And you can make a argument about the statistics all you want, but the fact of the matter is, this team is, at times, I mean, yesterday I thought they played decently well, but, a couple games this season, this team has looked just atrocious on defense. So, I don't know. I mean, positive spin on things. That's all I can say. And got this week to think about things, and hopefully this loss is really, amps us up. Because if we don't beat Atlanta this season, you can close the book on the season officially. But the winner of that game in a couple weeks is going to have an advantage on that one of those wild card spots. Anyway, that's all I got. Pick it up, dust it off, put it back. You gotta have heart. This is a team you can believe in, and it's not our season. It's not our season. We've been spoiled, As one of my friends said to me. He's been alive 30 years, and he's never once seen his team in the Super Bowl. I've seen one game, but my team's been 3 times, and my team's won it 3 times in my lifetime. So be thankful. We've got a good franchise that we root for, with a great core group of talent for many years to come, and we'll get through it. All right? Shout out Giants Mafia, Giants fans all over the place. It's your boy Steps. Peace.